Have you seen my slide?
Yes, Prof.
Okay. Okay, good morning, everyone. First, if I would like to thank to Prof. Evi who have invited me to join with this workshop. I'm Ana Zulfia from Department of Metallurgy and Materials, Faculty of Engineering, Universitas Indonesia. For this morning session, I would like to introduce you about the lithium-ion battery anode and cathode material and battery characterization. So what is a battery? I think all of you knows about the battery. So the battery itself is a device that converts chemical energy into electrical energy and vice versa. So this is chemical energy can convert to electrical energy because in the battery, they contain an anode material. The anode material is actually a source of ion. And the cathode, the zinc here. And the electrolyte is ionic transport. So we need the electrode with conductive electrolyte and separator with porous materials. Usually we use the polymer material as a separator between the anode and the cathode. So this is actually the battery history and the basic. So the modern battery was developed by Italian physicist who is Alessandro Volta in 1800. So in his research, they make a battery from the silver plate, zinc plate, and blotting paper. So from this knowledge that we can improve another materials to have a battery. So actually for the history of battery here, the lithium metal rechargeable battery is actually established in 1983. So from this voltage piles, which is produced by the Alessandro Volta in 1800, then we develop other materials. Nowadays, we know the lithium-ion battery. So the lithium-ion battery is still developed until now. So what is the material of lithium-ion battery that we can learn in this morning? So the ideal battery must be high energy density, light, which is a lightweight material, small with high capacity to store energy. And then the ideal battery also has a high specific power, so it can get a strong, store a big amount of energy altogether, long cycle life. So we need a long cycle life for the ideal battery. In this case, the charge and discharge several times without decrease of capacity and the performance. And this fast rechargeable. So this is actually for a secondary battery. And then wide temperature range, safe and recyclable. So the future, we need this recyclable battery. And the cost must be cheap. Yeah, we can create the material which is high capacity, good battery performance as well as cheaper. So as engineer, we can find whether this character can meet with the cheaper one. I don't know whether, because it's quite difficult to meet between high capacity, high property with a cheaper price. So the type of battery here, we know that we have primary battery. So the primary battery, we only use once. So after that, we have to dispose because this material cannot be used for many times. So we only use for one time. So for primary battery, we cannot reverse, yeah, because the electrochemical reaction here cannot be reversed. And then this only discharge the primary battery. So during discharge, we have the free energy negative. This is a reversible reaction. And then the first secondary batteries are rechargeable. So this material we can, this battery can be used for many times for a secondary battery because we can rechargeable. So in the rechargeable battery, so there is the there is a reversible reaction. So reversible reaction is this discharge from anode to the cathode and then charge from the cathode to the anode. So during discharge, there is the free energy negative, and then during charging, there is the free energy positive. The ion from the cathode go to the anode during the charge. So there is some example of primary battery. So usually we have a lithium battery. Lithium battery as a primary battery, we use the lithium metal. So lithium metal we can use for your watch, for your battery watch. For instance, you use the lithium metals. This lithium metal, they have high capacity compared to the lithium compound. So for the secondary battery, we use usually lithium compound. So for the primary batteries, we have zinc carbon, usually for flashlight, toys, for the children. Heavy duty zinc chloride, we use for the radio, recorders. We need this kind of battery. Usually we call here dry batteries for the primary. And then alkaline, all of the above we can use alkaline battery. Lithium, usually we use the lithium metals for photo flash, and then silver, mercury oxide for the watch for any purpose. And then for the secondary battery or rechargeable battery, we have nickel cadmium, nickel metal hydride. So nickel metal hydride is actually different from nickel cadmium. So for nickel metal hydride, we have 2 extra ions. And then alkaline, so we can use alkaline also for the rechargeable battery, lithium ion. So lithium ion here is actually the lithium compound, insertion compound. Lithium ion polymer, usually the lithium ion and lithium ion polymer is not so much different. It's similar actually, but the difference is the size. For the lithium ion is much lighter than lithium ion polymer. And then the lead acid. The lead acid also is rechargeable batteries. This is an example for the standard modern battery. So as I mentioned in the previous slide, we have zinc carbon, alkaline, and lead acid. So zinc carbon here is very cheap battery, usually in the size AA, C, and D. This is actually primary battery. And then alkaline, usually common we use in Duracal or Energizer battery. This is also the primary. Lead acid, we have rechargeable, usually we use in our cars. We use a lead acid. But in the future, perhaps we use lithium ion battery for electrical vehicles. So for nickel cadmium, the nickel cadmium is rechargeable. They have a memory effect. Nickel metal hydride, rechargeable, no memory effect. So I think the memory effect, I think is not quite good for the battery. Yeah. And then lithium ion battery is rechargeable and no memory effect. So what is rechargeable and memory effect here? The rechargeable ability is actually basically when the direction of electron discharge from negative to the positive and reverse. And then this restoring power. And then the memory effect is actually when a battery is repeated recharged before it has discharged more than half of its power, it will forget and its original power capacity. Something like height. I mean, this is not really full because they still remember about the capacity. So this is actually is not good characteristic of this battery, the memory effect. And then the lithium battery itself, first name come from the T. Nagaura and T. Tozawa. So they give a name for lithium ion battery. And then the concept of lithium ion battery was firstly introduced by Asahi Kasei Corporation Limited. And then now, lithium batteries were first proposed by M.S. Whittingham in the 1970s. So from 1970s, we still develop the lithium-ion battery until now, because lithium-ion battery is a lot of advantages compared to disadvantages. So why lithium? First, it's small. So during charge and discharge, there is intercalation of ion, and then light, it's quite light. The density is 0.535 gram per centimeter cubic, and then highly reactive. And then a lower standard electrode potential. And then the potential here is, the energy here is 3.04 voltage, and then high capacity 3.86 ampere hours gram. So this is the capacity of lithium. And then the needs of the battery in the future, we have high energy and high power, which is we can find in lithium ion battery. The transportation, usually we need high energy and high power for vehicles, for electrical vehicle. And then the most important also is high safety and rapid and reversible integration we can find in lithium, and zero strain. So during charge discharge, they don't produce the strain. So this is a stable lattice dimension. And then discharge rate is above 4C. And then the current battery now is the current battery is a lithium battery come from the graphite anode and the lithium cathode. The lithium cathode, usually we use lithium ferrophosphate, lithium cobalt oxide, and so on. And then the safety, this is the more important. And then the capacity of fade cycle, so slow kinetic lithium insertion to low lithium ion, and then the discharge here less than 4C. So if we have lithium metals, but lithium metal is quite good, but sometimes it's not safe. Yeah, it's more explosive. So we have to think about the poor zero strain lattice expanded can be exposed. This is quite dangerous for the battery. So so this is why we use the lithium. So what is lithium? Lithium we can find in periodic tables. They have atom weight is 3, is quite light. And then compared to other metals, lithium is the highest, the lightest of metals. Yeah, in the periodic system, the symbol is Ly. And then highly reactive with high energy density. The high capacity of storage of energy is between 370 to 300 watt-hours per centimeter cubic. The theoretical specific capacity of 3,880 ampere hour per kilogram in comparison with 820 ampere hour kilogram for zinc and 260 ampere hour kilogram for platinum. So this is the advantage of the lithium in terms of specific capacity. And then the lithium has high electrochemical reduction potential, highly reactive material, and spread thermal range between -25 degrees C to 40 degrees C. So we can find this lithium metal in our Earth. So perhaps from the research, I think that in LIPI they have still doing the research how to obtain the good lithium with good property, high capacity lithium. And then in battery, we have the anode. So what is the anode materials requirement? So there is the criteria of the anode materials. First is large capability of lithium absorption, high efficiency of charge discharge, excellent cyclability, low reactivity against electrolyte, fast reaction rate, low cost, environmental friendly, and non-toxic. So this is the requirement of anode materials. And then the commercial anode materials, we can find hard carbon, graphite, that this we can find in commercial. So if you want to make the anode material, you can buy the graphite or carbon, then you can make as an active material for the anode. So because nowadays we still do improvement of the lithium ion battery for the electric vehicle. So we need the high power rates for the lithium ion battery. So what is the material for this? So in this map, we have lead acid, nickel, cadmium, nickel, metal hydride, lithium ion, polymer lithium ion, and lithium metal. So even the lithium metal has high energy density as well as energy, high energy density, but the unsafe, because the unsafe for the lithium metal. So we have to reduce the use of the lithium metal. So nowadays we develop the lithium compound. So the lithium compound, perhaps we can use the any lithium titanate for the anode, and lithium ferrophosphate, lithium cobalt oxide. Nowadays we develop the current cathode for the NMC and NCA. This is for the developing cathode materials in the future. And then we have also the polymer lithium ion. But the most important thing that the high power rates that we choose for these materials. So if we see here, we have the specific energy and then the specific power. So this is the lead acid. The lead acid is quite good, yeah, safe, but it's quite heavy compared to other materials. Then we have this nickel metal hydride. Yeah, nickel metal hydride. The specific power is higher than lead acid. So the specific energy. Now we have the lithium ion battery. So this is our goals for the electric vehicle, that we need the high power rates, for instance, specific power and the specific energy. So we can find in the lithium ion battery, this is for the plug hybrid electric vehicle. And then in the future, we have to improve this lithium ion battery for the electric vehicle with high capacity, of course. So this is the active materials for the lithium ion battery. For instance, we have this active material for the anode. So for the anode, we have this graphite. We can find graphite in easily, because this graphite is nowadays developed is quite a long time ago. Graphite, because graphite is quite good, the conductivity is good, but we have to think about the solid electrode interface that formed during the contact between graphite and the electrolytes. And then we have others, carbon. Other carbon, perhaps we can use a graphene. They have a good capacity. And then others, the the zinc carbon, zinc, and then silicon. So we can use this material to dope in the lithium in order to improve the performance of the anode materials. So this is the cathode materials. We have the lithium mangan oxide, lithium cobalt phosphate, lithium mangan phosphate, and so on. But the most important we can find easily is lithium ferrophosphate. So so these materials, yeah, we can choose what material that meet with the cathode and the anode. Usually we select the material with high potential and high capacity, because we want to have high specific battery, or high specific capacity battery, or high power rate battery. So from this map, we can develop a new material. It's not new, it's already a long time ago established. We develop lithium titanate. Lithium titanate is more stable compared to the graphite. Then lithium titanate, unfortunately, they have a low capacity. Theoretical capacity 175, but of course, we can improve this capacity by doping, or we can do something like carbon coating, a graphene into the anode materials. Then we can have this composite lithium titanate. How the battery works. So the battery works, we can see here, there is the charge and discharge. So during battery works, first of all, the ion move from the anode to cathode. So there is discharge. So we have here the anode. The anode, they use the copper current collector. Yeah, there is the active materials in the anode. So usually the anode, we use the carbon, graphite, with the lithium. Yeah, we have this lithium carbon in the anode. So the cathode, we use aluminum foil as current collector. We use also lithium 1 - X cobalt oxide here. So during working of this battery, first of all, the ion from the anode move to the cathode. So the lithium ion move to the cathode through the electrolyte. In lithium carbon or graphite, yeah, if you use graphite, during the graphite contact with the electrolyte here, they produce the solid electrolyte interface. So this solid electrolyte interface will block the movement of the lithium ion, because we don't need this SEI. So we have to find another material that can move easily during discharge and charge. So here there is a lithium ion move to the cathode through the electrolyte during the discharge, and during charging, the lithium ion from the cathode goes through the anode. So this electrochemical reaction is vice versa for the rechargeable battery. So what is the reaction in the anode here? Because the anode here, we use the lithium X carbon 6, and then we have this electrolyte. Usually we use the lithium LiPF6. So we have this kind of electrolyte. And then the reaction during the discharge, because discharge occur from the cathode discharge occurred from the anode to the cathode, the reaction is like this. So we have lithium ion here, plus 6 graphite or carbon here, become lithium XC6. And then the cathode reaction, lithium cobalt dioxide become lithium minus X cobalt dioxide plus X Le+. So the overall reaction or the redox reaction, we have this. This is reaction occur in this rechargeable battery. So some materials can be used for the cathode and the anode. We can find here. For the cathode, the active material, usually we use the lithium cobalt oxide, and then lithium manganese dioxide, lithium ferrophosphate, and then the conductive additive. Usually we use the conductive additive in order to improve the performance of the battery. We use the acetylene black, the binder here, PVDF, PTFE, and so on. This is the polymer as a binder between these materials. And then current collector in the cathode, we use the aluminum. Usually we use the aluminum for the cathode. For the anode, we use the copper. And then in anode materials, the commercial material for the active material for the anode is graphite that we can find. And then MCMB, and the conductive additive, usually we use the acetylene black. The binder is the same as the cathode. And then current collector, we use the copper foil. Separator, we use usually porous polyolefin. So this polymer materials, porous materials. So this is the electrolyte. We have a solvent. We have solute here. So this is the mechanism and component in lithium-ion battery. So this is actually the charge process from the cathode to the anode. So the lithium ion move from the cathode to the anode. So there is the intercalation of the lithium ion in the anode here, in the anode materials here, we have the graphite. So the lithium ion will intercalate in the graphite. So this is the charge from the anode to the cathode. So the lithium ion will store in the cathode materials. So this is the schematic of the a cell of battery. So we have this charge from anode to cathode, discharge from the cathode to anode. We need the membrane electrolyte. So the electrolyte must be conductive, and then membrane electrolyte, we use the separator with the porous materials. So during charge and discharge, upon the charging here, lithium ion are released by the cathode and intercalate at the anode. So the anode here is graphite. And then when the cell is discharged, lithium ion are extracted by the cathode and then go to the anode. So this is the solid electrolyte interface. So this SEI is near to the this is the SEI, because the contact between lithium ion with the electrolyte, they produce the SEI. So the SEI here is negative. Is negative for the lithium ion battery because they can block the movement of the ion here. So how to anticipate the SEI? So we can use other materials, which is potential materials for this anode is lithium titanate, lithium 4, titanium 5 or 12. So we anticipate by to increase the surface contact. So we need the nano-sized particles for the active material for the anode here, and then we increase the specific capacity. We increase the lithium ion, which is intercalate. And then we increase the conductivity of the component by using the doping here or the carbon coating for the active materials. And then why LPO, why not graphite? So we have this answer. So as you know that the graphite, they have advantages is affordable price, cheaper, and then high cyclic, high conductive, and then the capacity is quite high, 370 milliampere hour per gram. And then the negative here is lithiation, is lithiation at 0.05 voltage versus lithium ion, and then they produce the solid electrolyte interface, and then so this is actually for the graphite. For the LTO here, for the graphite, they can have the disadvantages is circuit. They sometimes they during charge discharge they produce the short circuit, but for the lithium titanate here is not circuit, and then safety, zero strain materials, and then high lithiation, 1.55 volts versus lithium ion, and then capacity theoretical is 170 milliampere hour a gram. This is quite low compared to the graphite, and then less conductivity, and then less low coefficient diffusion lithium. But the most important, this material is more stable compared to the graphite, and then no short circuit. But of course, we can improve this battery performance, this material by using a doping, or we can make a composite to improve the battery performance here. I would like to introduce about our research in our laboratory. So in our lab, we have already synthesized the lithium titanate. So lithium titanate here, the source is lithium carbonate, lithium oxide, lithium hydroxide. And then the process here is hydrothermal and solid state. And then in this synthesis, we produce the lithium oxide nanoparticle, the LTO nanoparticle, LTO nanorod, LTO nanowires. And then in order to improve the performance, then we dope with other metal materials, and then we make by composite and surface templating. So this is the result of our anode and cathode. For the anode, here we also use some material for the doping or make a composite. For instance, we use a silicon as a silicon wafer, microsilicon, and nanoparticle size of silicon thin micro in the form of the particles, macro and nano for the thin. And then we also do we also done the silicon oxide carbon and the silicon thin dioxide, zinc oxide with nanoparticles, nanorod, and then activate carbon graphite. And then the nowadays we develop the zinc ion and then hematite, nickel, and graphite. So this is our research that have been currently still doing for developing the anode materials. For the lithium phosphate, for the cathode materials, we produce lithium phosphate by composite, make a composite lithium phosphate by addition some vanadium, mangan, as well as nickel we have already done. And then we use this process hydrothermal to make a lithium ferrophosphate. Then from this research, we try to make the prototype, the battery prototype. Then we have this battery prototype of LTO. So I think this is why we use the LTO, yeah, because this is more stable. Yeah. So this is the synthesis of LTO. We use the hydrothermal ball mill. So first of all, we provide the solution, the primary solution. This is actually ethanol with the titanium butoxide, and then we make also the secondary solution. It's actually ethanol and water, aqueous, yeah, and then we mix them, titration, and then we do a gelling process. Then we have the Ceregel, we have the titanium dioxide, we have to calcine this powder. Then we have this powder, and then we do the hydrothermal, and then this is the result of hydrothermal of the LTO, and then we mix them in the ball mill. Yeah, we mix them with other doping materials. Then we sinter. Then we have this anode materials. This anode material is already to make a slurry for the active material in the aluminum in the copper foil, and then we use the Dr. blade and calendering. Then we have this cell of the this anode materials. Then the electrolyte, because electrolyte is quite important in the lithium-ion battery, and even in the battery. So the role of the electrolyte here, first is ion conductor between cathode and the anode, and then generally lithium salts dissolve in organic solvent. The third is solid electrolyte is also possible if the ion conductivity is high at operating temperature. So this is the role. But the requirement, the criteria for the electrolyte here, first is inert. And then the second is high ionic conductivity, low viscosity, and then low melting point, and then appropriate concentration of lithium salt, and the chemical thermostability, and then low cost, environmental friendly, non-toxic. So this is the requirement of the electrolytes. So usually we use the lithium phosphor fluoride, LiPF6, in carbonate solvent. So this is the requirement of the electrolyte. So this is the electrochemical stability of electrolyte solvent. We have this electrolyte here. We have some electrolyte here with the composition here. So this is the working electrolyte. This is the energy of the electrolyte. Now is the cathode. The cathode is one facet of battery research in which there have been many interesting discoveries in this area of cathode. A cathode is the electrode of an electrochemical cell at which reduction occurs. So the cathode will reduction occurs, the anode is oxidation occurs. Yeah, because it's vice versa. It's opposite. Sorry, because they have opposite. Yeah, opposite between a cathode and anode. The cathode is usually the positive charge. Yeah, the anode. Sorry, the cathode here is actually cathode is reduction occurs. Yeah, in the anode is oxidation occurs. So the common cathode material of lithium-ion batteries are the transition metal oxide based compounds such as the lithium cobalt dioxide, lithium mangan oxide, lithium nickel oxide, lithium ferrophosphate. Nowadays we develop others materials in NMC and NCA for the cathode materials. This is the cathode materials. They have their characteristic of the cathode materials that we can find in these tables. Yeah, we can see here lithium cobalt dioxide. They have this potential. Yeah, 3.9, specific capacity 130, energy is 507. So we have so many kind of cathode materials here with this characteristic that you can see in the table later after the class. I'll give you the material for you. And then this is desired characteristics of cathode materials. So this is the criteria for the cathode. Yeah, a high discharge voltage, the most important for the cathode, a high energy capacity, a long cycle life, a high power density, lightweight, a low self-discharge, absence of environmental hazardous elements. So this is desired characteristic of the cathode. So we can find what material with the what materials meet with this requirement. So some materials, for instance, lithium cobalt oxide, yeah, this lithium cobalt oxide that we can find in the market, this material, because this like something like graphite, yeah, graphite easy to find in the market. Yeah, it's commercial material that we can buy and then we make as a cathode. For instance, lithium cobalt oxide. So this is the structure of lithium cobalt oxide. So there is the lithium atom here, we have the cobalt here, we have the oxide here. There is the intercalation process between those atoms. And then cathode materials. So what's the structure of the cathode materials? We have the layer oxide cathode, spinel oxide cathode, zigzag layer lithium mangan dioxide compound, olefin structure, and other compounds we can see here. So this is the structure of the cathode materials. We have this lithium cobalt oxide layer structure. So this is the layer structure of the cathode. This is the zigzag. Yeah, this is the olefin structure.
Sorry, Prof. Anna, for interrupting. The time is about 2 minutes left, Prof.
Okay, so okay. I can give brief. So this is lithium ferrophosphate, which is a good material, is stable because they have olefin structure, but this material also is friendly, environmentally friendly, non-toxic. But the disadvantages of this lithium ferrophosphate is low lithium ion diffusion, low electronic conductivity, lower power capability. Therefore, we can improve this material. So this is the capacity range between the various materials. So this is the theory capacity of each materials of the cathode. Here we can find here ways to improve the cathode performance. First, we can increasing the energy density. Investigate the high voltage cathode that can deliver all the lithium in the structure, will improve the energy density, and then we can make the thin nanoplate materials seem to offer more energy of higher rate, and then mesoporous lithium mangan oxide, and then surface coating of the cathode. So this is the ways to improve the cathode performance. This is the potential cathode materials. Yeah, we have this material, olefin-based phosphate system. So we have this lithium mangan phosphate, and then this material can deliver the more lithium as compared to the conventional material, such as lithium cobalt dioxide. And then only very few groups have synthesized of lithium mangan phosphate successfully, and this system has potential around 4.3 voltage. And lithium nickel phosphate has a potential around 5.5 voltage. It believes this lithium diffusion coefficient is quite high in nickel phosphate in the range 10⁻⁻⁵ meters square per second at around room temperature. And then novel approach for synthesis nanostructure olefin are required to enhance both ionic and then electronic conductivity. So this potential cathode for the materials, then the material characteristic. So if you do the research, you have to do the characteristic of the material that you synthesize. How to characterize this material? First, the surface morphology. So the surface morphology that we can confirm by resolution scanning electron microscope, the specific surface area, because we need the nano-sized particle or more small particles. So we can do the specific surface area by BET method, Brunner and Taylor method. Then we analyze the crystalline structure confirmed by X-ray diffraction. You can do by X-ray diffraction, and then the chemical composition confirmed by X-ray photospectroscopy, and then the nano-sized structure analyzed by transmission electron microscope. Then the fabricate of cell are subjected to electrochemical performance. And this is battery characteristic. The size physical, we have the AA, AAA, C, D, DC actually for the dry battery or the primary battery. Energy density, specific energy that we need this power under energy, yeah. And then the long cycles. And then discharge characteristic and cost. So this is for the battery characteristic. So this is the characteristic of each material for for the battery here, the voltage, the specific energy, specific density, cost, and cycle number. So we can see here we have this lithium ion, the voltage 3.7, the specific energy 165, the energy density is 330, the cost here 500 kilowatt hour, and cycle number is 500. Nickel cut is quite long time for the nickel cut, but each material they have their own advantages and disadvantages. So this is the comparison, the volumetric and gravimetric energy density with others battery. So we have this thin film lithium ion because this is more lighter compared to these materials. Yeah. So the advantages of lithium-ion battery, the power here, they have high energy density, and then the higher voltage, long shelf-life. This is the advantages for the lithium-ion battery. Of course, they have also disadvantages of lithium-ion battery, expensive, 40% more than nickel, and then delicate. The battery temperature must be monitored from within and raise the price. Yeah. And then regulation here, when shipping lithium-ion battery in bulk, which also raise the price. So this is disadvantages of lithium-ion. Okay, that's finished. So perhaps we can continue with discussion.